Hi guys, myself Riha Suhasbhat from SVCE. My USN is 1B22 IS 059, and today we're going to talk about waste management for SCR project. So as you can see here, we are preparing the manure at home in the terrace garden to be specific. So we're going to see how it's going to be prepared. So first we take a huge tub of pot, and first layer is of rocks. It's to close off the holes in the pot to prevent any leakage of water, etc., from the wet waste that we're going to add on later to it. The next step is to cover it with coconut husk. This helps with the aeration. So as they're very porous in nature, it helps with the free flowing movement of air. And it also prevents any water from flowing out, just like the rocks, makes sure there's another level of filtration. So once the coconut husk is used, it also makes sure that the earthworms do not go out of the tub. It gives space for the earthworms to multiply and reproduce. So after this, the next level is to add any kind of dry waste, not all kinds of dry waste, just dry wastes like dry leaves, dead leaves of plants, and other things like that. So once we've added the dry waste layer, we can then go on to add the wet waste layer. So the wet waste layer can have any kind of kitchen waste in it. So this can be a thicker layer, so it can include kitchen waste like flowers, vegetable peels, or anything else. Even paper can be added here because paper decomposes pretty fast. The only thing to keep in mind is cabbage takes time, so we need to cut them into smaller pieces. So the next layer is to add neem powder or neem leaves. Here you can see that we are adding neem powder. This step is optional, but it is preferred as this prevents the smell from the decomposing waste coming out. And this also acts as a catalyst, and it fastens the process of decomposition. So we do not add much, just a very thin layer. Or if you're using neem leaves, then around 7 to 8 neem leaves are sufficient. Next, we repeat the same process. Above this, we add a layer of soil or vermicompost, a mixture of soil and vermicompost. This is again to fasten the process of decomposition. So as you can see, we are adding a layer of soil and vermicompost, a mixture of soil and vermicompost to it. So once this is done, again, we can follow it by a layer of dry waste and then again layer it by with a wet waste layer. These steps can be repeated as many times as needed. So the more the layers of wet waste you add, the more the pressure and the faster the decomposition takes place. So as you can see, we are adding another layer of dry waste and another layer of wet waste. So just make sure that there's no plastics. Paper can be added, like I said previously, and we have to be careful with the cabbage. So once this is done and the layers are evenly spread out, again, we're going to cover it with neem powder. Once it's covered with neem powder, we're going to again layer it with one more layer of soil, a mixture of soil and vermicompost. and then we are layering it again with dry waste. So the final layer needs to be another layer of soil and dry waste. This is to cover up the wet waste and to prevent birds and squirrels and other animals from digging through it. So this is followed by coco pit, which is again to prevent the birds from disturbing the decomposing material. So as you can see, we're adding coco pit in the end, just to settle it off and finish the entire process. So this turns into manure in about 1.5 months to 2 months at max. The neem powder that we used actually acts as a catalyst and fastens the process from over 3 months to about 2 months or 1.5 months. So now we're going to show you different levels of decomposed manure. So this is half done. As you can see, the black part is mostly the ones that are already decomposed, but you can still see a few vegetable wastes here and there and that. So this, if it is still decomposing, it's usually warm. So you can tell whether the manure is done or not by checking if it's warm or cold. So once it's completely decomposed, the amount of manure in it or the amount of soil in it reduces to almost half. So this is completely done. This the clip that you're seeing now shows completely decomposed waste. So these are very porous and airy. They're non-sticky. They do not have clumps in them. And we don't have to mix this with any kind of soil or anything else. We can directly plant whatever we need into this. We can directly plant seeds into this. As you can see, it looks very rich in nutrients, very dark. So it's very lightweight, doesn't weigh a lot. So it's very easy for terrace gardening. We can plant a lot on the terrace. As you can see, this is a terrace gardening facility. So vegetables or like basically root vegetables like potato, carrot, etc., grow really well since this soil is very porous and airy. Also, here you can see the lemon tree that is grown from the same manure. We can see the lemons as well. So this was grown from the same manure made here, all of these. Yeah, lemon plants. There's also chiku plant that was grown from the same. These are giddes or kishin sopo as we call it in Kannada. It's very common in the northern parts of Karnataka. This is pudina, again grown from the same manure. So as you can see, all of these were grown from the same manure that we just now learned how to make. So Auntie says that all of her kitchen waste goes into this, so she doesn't throw away any of her kitchen waste and has been doing this for over 3 years now. So as you can see, the plants are growing pretty well. So this was waste management, guys. Thank you and have a great day ahead.